what we tell them, what we tell them. Go to work, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Down, clock in, clock in, clock in, down, clock in, clock in, clock in, down, clock in, clock in, clock in, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See my defense, they on the field right now. Yeah, my defense, they yelling 3 and now. Yeah, my defense, they don't like your quarterback. So my defense, all trying to get them sacks with the ball in the air. Secondary go to work. Byron Jones, he be there, he be lying, he be lurking. If you get past him, Jeff Heath gon' hurt him. Put the ball down, go ahead and run it. I got a hot front four when they coming. Plus we got the best linebacker duo in the whole NFL. We the hot boys sizzling on fire, come to give your team hell. Clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Go defense, defense, go defense, defense, gone defense, defense, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. I know I said at the beginning of this track, man, that we had like a top 10 or like a top 5. Hot boys gearing up to be triple D, you know what I'm saying? Clock Dallas doomsday defense. Listen what the hot boys tell them, man. Defense, put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Smell fresh meat, yeah, we all eating. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Smell fresh meat, yeah, we all eating. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Yeah, I smell fresh meat, yeah, we all eating. Clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Down, clock in, clock in, clock in, down, clock in, clock in, clock in, down, clock in, clock in, clock in, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. You see the star on the field, you gon' meet D-Law. Thinking you an outlaw, we sending the predator. Jalen Smith scoop up the whole field, so how you gon' play here, bruh? If you release your dogs, we got a wolf hunter. LVE, tackling Dutchman coming. If you hungry and trying to eat like Zeke, we'll send in a taco to sweep you off your feet. Now you deep in the woods, plus we got a couple Collins. They say time and pressure make diamonds, the hot boys shining. Clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Down, clock in, clock in, clock in, down, clock in, clock in, clock in, down, clock in, clock in, clock in, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Top 10. When the hot boys hit the field, this is what we tell them. Listen what we tell them. This is what we tell them. Go to work, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Down, clock in. They say, defense wins championships. We're here in Dallas. We got a top 10. When the hot boys hit the field, this is what we tell them. Listen what we tell them. This is what we tell them.
Thank you for watching West Coast. This is Antoine Woods.
Thanks for watching West Coast. Go Cowboys.
This is Ray Williams. Thank you so much for hanging out with us at Dallas Cowboys Scout.
Appreciate
My
it.
man West Coast from this bucket.
Thank you for watching West Coast.
Shout out West Coast Cowboys. You know it's always love over here. Raider, Cowboy, always a Cowboy.
Did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
What's up with you guys? It is your boy West Coast, and we are live in the building, man. And man, let me see if I can get him in here. I got the boss with me. What's up with your boss, Cowboy?
What's up, West Coast? How are you?
I'm blessed, man. Having a great day today. Ready to get on to this. What is this, Monday? It feels like Tuesday. I don't know, man. I don't know. It feels like Tuesday probably because we play on Thursday. Huh?
Thursday games will throw off your game cycle, your game clock.
They do, right? I'm up here tripping like a mug, bro. I'm like, this feels like a Tuesday like a mug.
Throw off your game clock. There's no lie about that. That's the truth. Like, Dak was holding the ball a little bit. That's because they've been protecting him well. You know what I mean? So when you've been protected well and they finally start getting pressure, your internal clock is off. That's how we are on shows.
I like that.
It's true. Yeah, I clock off. So we so used to Sunday games and then recap Monday. Tuesday we do a little bit more recap. Then we usually move on to the next opponents on Wednesday. We got to speed it up. So like a short week for everybody, for the Cowboys is also a short week for us. So more than likely we're going to spend only the day, right, talking about the Bills, and then we're going to move on. We're going to be on to the Bears, like full throttle, full breakdown, all that good stuff.
Yeah, man, it's crazy because we went from having like Sunday games to then like, and then we even had a bye, and it was like, dang, we ain't playing it forever. And now it's like boom, 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 bam, bam, game on top of game, right?
Mm-hmm. Game on type of game, and clock different. But it's all good. I mean, we got enough time to get into it and really break everything down.
Yep. Hey, we already know. Hey, this is the best part. This is the best time of football, man. The best time in football. Hey, let me shout out some people in this comment box, and we got some people on YouTube and Instagram watching. How you doing, Auntie? I see you on there, Lady Butterfly. David, what's up on you on Instagram? I see you, P Loco. What up with you, Texas? What up with you, Austin? What up with you? Shout out to everybody on IG. Appreciate you guys rolling down. We about to hit 10,000. About to hit 10,000. 10,000 on Instagram, and I appreciate everybody for rocking over there with me. Hey, Boss Cowboy, I know you see some people in this on Facebook that you know.
Not yet, but hey, man, when I get on, I'm going to say what's up to them. I just jumped on Instagram, so I see Tater Realist, and then I see Jamie G. What's up? I see David, 19, so I see some people.
Okay, I see. Hey, we got Big James in the house. What up with you, man?
What's up, Big James, man? Big James had a good talk today, man. Just kind of looking at these contracts and stuff and looking at the future, what's going to more than likely happen with the Dallas Cowboys. It's getting real weird, bro. Like, it's getting real weird. I can't wait till we cover that too, bro.
Yeah, man. I'm going to be honest with you, man. The only thing I don't like about Big James is that he's a goddamn Mavericks fan, man. And it's like we'd be so in agreement, and then you'd be looking on his little page, and then he got some stuff about this Luka, and you can't really say too much about it, man. I ain't even gonna knock him, bro. Like, dude, nice. But that's what I'm telling you. This is what I'm gonna say, right? And this is what I'm gonna say. And this is our 30 seconds of NBA talk, right? The Lakers is winning. We winning it this year, right? But Mavericks, hey, I don't think Porzingis is the dude. I don't think he's the next. But Luka the dude, bro. That dude is nice, bro. That white boy nice.
Hey, man.
Like, he remind me of a dude from, like, New York, bro. Like, you remember them and one takes? Like, he remind me of one of them dudes.
Man, his game pure, bro. Like, his game is pure. I remember when I first saw him, I sat down with him with a couple of my basketball scouts, and I said, man, that dude game looked curry to me, like, in terms of his handles, right?
Yeah.
I swear everybody was looking at me like, shut up. And I'm going to be honest, you know what it really was, man? Them boys was kind of low-key reverse racism on cool, man. They was more so looking at his color, not looking at his game.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at his game. I was like, this dude game, man, if you could just close your eyes and not look at the color of that man's skin.
Wet, bro.
What?
He wet.
And it's always been that case. And the crazy thing about his game, too, man, is he's still growing. That's what nobody factoring in is that he can still hit one more growth spurt. Like, so he getting big with that game, too. So, I mean, the future looks super bright for Dallas, man. So, yeah, I'm a Mavericks fan, too. So,
hey, I need everybody in the comment box right now. Let me know who is, as soon as football season, who's that basketball team you're going to be rooting for so hard. Because I know it's hard to root for the Lakers like I root for the Cowboys in football season because I'm already invested. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but don't get me wrong, as soon as the season's over, I'm going to go straight into my yum-yums. You know what I'm saying? But everybody right now, put in the comment box, who is your team that you're rocking with so we'll know who family and who foes out there. Because I was, god dang, man. Yeah, he nice, bro. Yeah. He nice. If y'all get him one more, I don't think it's Porzingis though. I don't. I think if you get him one more like up and coming, Mavericks gonna have a squad, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just happy that I love football more than basketball. So, you know what I'm saying? But Lakers taking this thing this year. But hey, after you put your team, I need everybody to share. Everybody to share. Everybody give me one share, please.
Yeah, and it's gonna happen, bro. Like it's gonna happen though, man, because
Finish what you were saying.
yeah, it's gonna for sure happen though with Luka, man, because you know when you get a star like that, people want to play with you.
Yeah, and absolutely.
Yeah, people want to play with a star, man. We getting off of basketball, but it's gonna happen for Dallas. Like if not this year, we gonna get somebody next year that's gonna really add to that trio. Because I don't think you can really be serious unless you got 3.
Exactly. And one thing you did say that I 100% agree with is this. You know, this is the age of players wanting to play together. Like, this is a different age era now. Like, Michael Jordan even spoke on it. He's like, nowadays, these guys want to play together. He's like, I never wanted to play with Bird. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to play with him. I wanted to beat him. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different era. So you are 100% absolutely correct in your assessment in as far as, you know, it'll be easy to attract a player because, you know, in the NBA, you know, that's the culture. You know, a lot of great players when they want to build these super teams. And when all this wave of LeBrons and KDs, and because them dudes only got about 3-4 years at being at the elitist, as being like the toppest, and then that yoke will get cut off, and then you're gonna have the Trae Youngs and the Lukas and all those guys come up who I think are gonna dominate the NFL. Hey, the Cavs, y'all got a young scorer over there. That's pretty nice. I forget his name, but he's pretty nice too. All right, but hey. Somebody said the Warriors. Wow, bless their heart. Ooh, Jesus, you a real fan. I need everybody right now to share. Everybody give us one share. If you're on Instagram, give us one share. If you're on YouTube, give us one share. If you're on Facebook, give us one share. And we're going to go ahead and talk about these Buffalo Bills, man. Talk about this Buffalo Bills game and our reaction on the game. I know we played, last Thursday, so it literally feels like it's been forever. But I think me and Boss Cowboy, you know, because of the holidays, we wanted to, not bombard you guys with so much content, but we were still putting content out there because there was still stuff going on. But I just want to make sure that we take a couple minutes to kind of talk about our reactions as far as the Cowboys versus Bills loss on Thursday. Kind of pissed in my yogurt, man. What was your thoughts on that Bills game?
Oh man, in terms of the emotions, man, it was hard, man. It was a hard game to really kind of digest, man. It really, really, really was a letdown. So if from an emotional standpoint, it was like that was a game that I was looking for. Kind of like I want to shut everybody up. You know, you wanted to get us to be a winning team. We didn't do that, right? And so now that narrative on Dak sticks. The narrative on Garrett sticks and the narrative on the Cowboy sticks. The narrative saying that we can't beat winning teams. And so it's like anything that's kind of like a negative trend on Dallas, the national media will always jump on it and try to make it seem like that's like a career trend for Dallas. And that's actually not a career trend. This is one of the first seasons that we struggle with winning teams, if you really think about it. But they go try to sow the propaganda seeds to make it seem like that's always been the case and trend, and that's not the case and trend. It's just kind of where we are now. And I think it's a couple of dynamics that make it that way as well, West Coast. Like when you think of the fact that we got a new OC, we got a new offensive identity, we got some stuff we still working through, right? And when you're working through stuff and you run up on new teams and good teams and winning teams, you really kind of got to know who you are, not be in a place of figuring it out. And we still kind of in the place of figuring it out, and figuring it out or going against good teams is kind of resulting to these L's. So once we kind of get that hybrid identity down that me and you've been talking about, because we've been saying for the longest, it shouldn't be Zeke's team, it shouldn't be Dak's team, it should be whoever it makes sense against that defense team.
Yep.
We've been saying that from day one. So it's almost like we're waiting on the Cowboys to figure that out, because it's like they trying to go between Dak and Zeke in terms of identity, especially in key moments if you look at the trends. Because West Coast brought out something, especially versus New England. We're not skipping the Bills, but just kind of looking at a trend, right? On all the third and shorts on New England, what do? We threw the ball. We threw the ball. And that's opposite of what we should have been doing, especially since the running game was working.
It's opposite of common sense.
It was just kind of common sense. So it's almost like we going in between Dak, Zeke, when really it should be based on the weather in New England, based on what was happening with Buffalo. The Buffalo trend also said run because that's what was working. The Buffalo trend did not say continue to throw because that's where they were strong, right? A secondary strong. And Zeke was pounding. Zeke had his longest run of the year, and we stopped. So but when you look at all of that with winning teams, that also adds to I would say our bad luck on winning teams. So until we kind of get into December and figure that out, I'm gonna mess around and tweak Kellen Moore and say, hey, bro, you need to study game flow, because once whoever figures out game flow, and what I mean by that is identifying the patterns of that game and then trending your offense into the pattern, that's when I think we can kind of hit a hot zone. But into that, we're going to kind of look like we lack identity, and I think we're going to continue to kind of struggle.
Yeah, man. My thoughts on it is, offense came out. I think the offense came out like on fire, man. They came out like someone watched a West Coast and Boss Cowboy video. I was like, Zeke is about to freaking break the NFL world record on these dudes, man. Because it's freaking goddamn skin 30 in the first quarter, and Zeke is already doing this.
Yeah.
So I'm like, mama, you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? I got the, man, we ready. You know what I'm saying? It's Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? The Cowboy fans is in the house today. You know what I'm saying? We got dressing flowing. We don't even eat candy. We got candy. What I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? The turkey, the ham, the spread. And we had everything. We was prepared, bruh. And Zeke is doing this on the second carry of the game.
Yeah. It was gashing.
Bruh, I'm like, we about to dog walk these dudes. Yeah. Because I know there's no way that they're going to stop running the ball to Zeke. There's no way. And they did. Hey, turn your camera on your IG. And they did.
Yeah, they did.
And I was I was more frustrated. What up with you, Adam? 22 football. I was more frustrated because I'm looking at a game and it's like, when it's obvious to the fans, it's redundant to the coaches. You know what I'm saying? Like when they're doing something that becomes obvious to the fans, the people watching TVs, that means it's got to the point where it's redundant. That means that this has happened so many times that now the fans see it. And when they did it, a part of me was like, Lord, since they're going to do it, let's just help they execute. Whereas in New England last week, I'm like, what in the hell are we doing? This makes absolutely no sense. But now, because I'm trying to adapt to my team, as they adapt, I'm trying to put a wig on a pig and sell it as a beauty queen. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what we've chosen to do. We've chosen to just make no sense football. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
Hashtag it makes no sense football. Because so many things that the Dallas Cowboys do go against basic football common sense. 31, you have a quarterback who has never been injured in his professional career, has 21 rushing touchdowns in his career, the leading amount in your franchise. Remember, no one scored more rushing touchdowns as a quarterback than this young man. And his best games show that he plays better when he runs and moves the ball, but yet on 3rd and 1, when it's raining. And I'm gonna take a small bunny trail, right? This is why, y'all gotta really watch our shows, and I be getting irritated sometime too. But that's why I gotta stay off Facebook. Like I just gotta stay on my shows, stay on my content, because I don't be making friends on Facebook. Because when I see a report like the Dallas Cowboys they're going to prepare outside this game for the Bears. And then people saying, oh, well, they were supposed to practice for the, like, can I ask you a question, boss? How do you simulate rain if it don't rain? How do you simulate rain when it don't rain? Yes, you can throw wet footballs. Okay, good. Okay, yeah, I'm going to tell you guys something. Every football that's thrown is wet at some point. You want to know why? Because it hits the ground, and then guess what? One of these big nasty dudes got their hands, and that hands is wet, and it's leather. The ball is leather. So the ball always has a degree of precipitation on it. You know what I'm saying? That's just real. But it's really raining. So how do you simulate that? You can't really simulate that, right?
Yeah, you can't. I'm glad they did, though.
And then I'm still bringing this all in because I know you're like, damn, West Coast, that was a good point, but that's kind of way out there. And then also I got to also defend my guy Dak because they say, and now Dak finally wants to wear a glove. Well, guess what? Dak wasn't coached to throw a football with a glove.
Right.
So
that was improvisation.
Yes, and I'm going to be honest with you. Unless Dak Prescott just says, I'm going to focus on doing this in the offseason, that is not something you are going to decide before a game. I'm sorry, you're not. You know what you're going to do? You're going to play with your hand until you just can't do it anymore. You want to know why? Because that's what's got you in the NFL.
Right.
So it don't surprise me that it took Dak to the last moment to put a glove on. Why? Because that was going against what he knows.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and let me echo something on that real quick. Because see, Lamar
Sweat
Jackson.
On the ball. I said that on national TV. Go ahead.
Lamar Jackson went into this game that he just played versus San Fran. He actually requested to play and practice with a wet ball because the conditions are changing in Baltimore, and he wanted to simulate the game conditions for San Fran during that practice week. And they were saying that Harbaugh is used to kind of clean practices. He doesn't simulate game situations like wet balls, right? But they made the change based on the quarterback request. So what a lot of people got to realize is that New England game was a learning game, like a big time learning game. When you have your quarterback for the first time say, hey man, I'm having issues like with a wet ball. And he admitted it today. They interviewed him today and he said, I practiced today with a glove because I know I have problems with a wet ball. He said, I can grip it, but I throw it different.
Exactly.
So he said the grip is better when I have a glove. But he learned that under trial and error.
But you got to learn it, bruh. When does a person have a chance to learn it?
Yeah, under fire. So people got to realize that the first quarter and a half of New England was him almost throwing with his hand behind his back, if you understand what I'm saying, you know? So that does give us a bit of an advantage because he said with confidence today, I'm certain that whether it's cold, wet, or whatever, because now I know that I throw better and have a better grip with a glove, I'm ready for that now. And if you watch New England's major advantage, and we talking about this because we going into cold season. Chicago is getting ready to be a cold game. Philly getting ready to be a cold game. So if we don't spend time talking about how to adapt to cold games, we're not talking real football.
Yeah.
Right? So one of the things that Dak said today is he said, I throw it better under grip. But he had to learn that. If you look at New England, everything that really beat us and where they tried to beat us was because they was familiar with their conditions. Straight up. Think about it. They did 3 short kicks on purpose on kickoff return, and we muffed 3 of them.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, your mind will say, well, that was normal. No, it's not. Because the winds was between 20 to 27 miles per hour.
Yeah.
And they was directional winds. They was going in every direction. So they knew to pooch kick it, because when you pooch kick it and the wind sometimes accelerate the ball, decelerate the ball, make it go right, make it go left, and it's a pooch kick, they kicking it high on purpose so that the person that's returning it, not seeing a steady ball come up and down like they used to, is kind of swaying in the air. So they knew how to even play the conditions to make us muff it. But that's the advantage of playing like that all the time. So
and you got to also And think about this: when you play in that type of weather and that type of environment all the time, you know how to use it. Versus the Dallas Cowboys are going in trying to avoid it.
A dome team,
like we're trying to avoid it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're
and
a dome team.
And I'm just sorry, like. If it starts like every year we play in the Giants the final game of the season and it is physically snowing on the ground. But I'm like, where do you simulate snow? Like if it don't snow outside, what do you do?
Exactly.
Like I mean, what does the Miami Dolphins do? They play it's never at worst it's rain.
Right.
You get what I mean? Or a better team, Arizona Cardinals.
Right.
They play in the desert.
And that's a big advantage, just like these guys went outside, right? Trying to simulate what's to come in Chicago, which you can't, because Texas weather is not Chicago weather, right? But Chicago, guess what they can do? They can go out there and simulate what's going to be in the game. See what I'm saying? So the only thing we can do is try to prepare ourselves for game situations and say, if the weather isn't clement, then what we're going to have to do is lean on Zeke. The conditions itself is going to make us have to lean on Zeke, right? And so from a strategy, we would know, but from how to play in those conditions, we're going to be behind. So it's one of those things to where during this part of the season, we honestly all got to cross our fingers and say our prayers for the right type of weather, like straight up. Because if the weather is a certain kind of way, it'll take away the advantage of Dallas. And the advantage of Dallas is really kind of throwing the ball, mixing running the ball, and between the 20s. That's where Dallas kills.
Yeah.
But if you have inclement weather, you have a different offense.
Boss, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you think a coach came to Dak at some point during the week and said, hey, you should probably practice with a glove, or you should probably think about doing a glove?
Not at all. Not going into New England, but going into this game, yes. And see that's saying a lot when they going into this game where they quickly learn from New England. So it's one of those things to where we can be Debbie Downers and crybabies and all that BS, or we can kind of say, okay, what adjustments are we making as we're getting ready for December? And every one of these games, even though especially the pivotal games have been losses, every one of them also been key learning things.
Yeah.
So, and we know December football and January football
is where it matters.
Is going to more and more start leaning on Zeke. Like, go and get ready. So all those big throwing games, no, not when we get into December. It's actually going to start going more to the Dallas advantage. It's going to start going to the offensive line.
Playoff games,
and Zeke,
playoff
game football,
lower scoring games too.
Yeah. So we got some hope type of stuff that we can learn from the Bills and we can learn from New England, but we still got some major hurdles. That's also hurdles that I feel like we create.
Yeah, that's why I said on my video today, and I appreciate you guys for supporting the video. I dropped it on Instagram and Facebook. And there was a meme that people put out, and they were talking about the differences between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Dallas Cowboys. And I just wanted to just like highlight some very interesting points, and that is what I'm saying, like at the same time when people say, oh, the Dallas Cowboys can't beat winning teams, I mean, or that's what they say, that's what the record shows. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, you got to remember, man, those are also good teams. And really, on your schedule, what you're supposed to do is beat the teams you're supposed to beat. And teams that are just as good as you is about a 50-50. You know what I'm saying? And what's happening with the Dallas Cowboys is we're not getting those 50-50s. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. That's why I told someone today, like, your expectation of going 13-3, like, realistically, how many 13-3 teams are making it deep into the playoffs? There's a lot of talent and exertion that gets put out there to maintain that type of record, to be consistently winning. Now, I'm not saying that there's an advantage to losing, no, but there is an advantage of getting hot at the end of the season, though. You know what I'm saying? I'll take the Dallas Cowboys going 4-0 into the playoffs, and I could care less what they see their record is. Because that 4-0 going to the playoffs is way more important than all them a game they beat, a 3-game streak they did in week 1 and 2, 3. Damn, that team totally different from there.
Exponentially.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why I said on my video, man, this is a 4-game season. This is a 4-game season, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I think some, like, there's just so much, like I just call it entitlement, man, but it's like false entitlement, because I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, but the last time we won a Super Bowl, I was 12, man. So how can I
Right
run
on.
around here thinking that like the expectation should be this when it hasn't been that? My expectation is right now is for us to do better than what we did last year. You know what I'm saying? Do I think this is a team that can get to the second round of the playoffs? I do. I do believe.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But man, it takes a lot. You know what I'm saying? It takes, the Dallas, these next 4 games are way more important. That's why, honestly, and I'm not saying that the Bills are oblivious, but when the Philadelphia Eagles lost to the Miami Dolphins, that basically erased the loss to the Bills like it never happened.
Yep.
You feel? I'm just saying, like, and if you're a real Dallas Cowboy fan,
needed that.
yeah, and if you're a real Dallas Cowboy fan and your ultimate objective is to win a Super Bowl, you should be ecstatically happy right now. Like, you have bitter Cowboy fans out there. Like, what the hell are you mad about? Yeah, we lost, but the team Philly lost too. So you know what that means?
It's a little bit too Debbie Downer to what you're saying. It's like because the whole point is to get in the tournament first.
Thank you.
That's the point. And then as division champs, you go at least have somebody come to your home once.
Yep.
And so the ones that's actually playing the best right now gonna have to come to AT&T. So at least once. So it's one of those things to where, like, if we really look at history and look at like our division itself actually has a history of squeaking in and pulling it out.
Thank you.
Straight up, bro.
Thank you.
The 9-7 Giants knocked off an undefeated New England with a Randy Moss on that team. So it's one of those things to where, yes, we have a lot of stuff to be pissed about, but we have actually way more to be happy about. Like, straight up.
Like this season is not over.
Now, we should absolutely still have a sense of urgency, but this super Debbie Downer BS that we on as a fan base, it's a lack of understanding. Like my boy Nick Reed always say, man, we number one in the division. He throw up the middle finger. And he ain't lying. You know what I'm saying? Because that's number one. You know, that's number one is getting in the tournament.
Yep.
And I want to be in the tournament with skills. And we at least know this. The Dallas Cowboys got a lot of players. And every now and then you can get into the playoffs and teams that you think will play great playoff football
don't play great.
have a meltdown.
And think
so
about
what
this,
we
boss.
want is a meltdown, and we want us to be getting hot.
And think about this,
Now-
boss. A lot of the teams that we would be playing in the play. Last year's playoff game. Technically, we beat a better Seattle Seahawks team at home. They had to come to us because they were the wild card and we won the division.
Yep.
But they were the number one rushing team in the NFL, and we were considered the underdogs at home. I was at that game. I was punching Tank after the game. I was punching pound, pound, pound.
Yeah. And so it's man, like I felt so good. It felt like Christmas. Like I literally fell asleep on the Miami game versus Philly because all of us thought they was gonna win. Right? If you say that Miami was gonna win, you a lie. Don't even lie. All of us said. West Coast and I said we feel like Philly gonna go 3-0. We felt like it was gonna get real hard.
I was hoping that the Giants. I was hoping that final Giants game would get them or Washington. That's what we was hoping.
Yeah. I wake up in the fourth quarter and I see the score. So anyway, we should still have a sense of urgency. What we all need to be doing is just hoping that we get hot now, because you don't want to get into the playoffs limping and playing bad football. You want to kind of go in like we went in last year, where we went in, we didn't have to beat the Giants, but that buzzer beater to Cole Beasley when Dak did that game-winning throw on 4th and 15 kind of had us go in there with a high.
Yeah, and nobody felt like the underdog. Like, think about the bus. Like, even though we were the underdogs, nobody felt. I didn't feel like an underdog going to that Seattle Seahawks game.
No,
I actually booked an event the next day. Think about this. I booked an event that Sunday because we played that Saturday. I was so confident that we was winning. I booked Jalen Smith and Michael Gallup. No, was it Michael Gallup? I think it was Michael Gallup. I forget. I know it was Jalen Smith though. Jalen Smith and Michael. It was Michael Jeezy and Michael Gallup. The next day, that Sunday. And my boy was like, bruh, what happens if we lose? Like, bruh, we're not about to lose. Like, we're not about to lose. Because I'm going to tell you, like, we have a tournament-style quarterback. And I know we got to talk about LVE being out again. But, like, if you think about it like this, right? you go into the playoffs. We win because, I mean, you know, we got to win these 4 games, obviously. That's the obvious. You know what I'm saying? But we can talk about it because if we win these 4 games, out, we are going to have a home playoff game, regardless if you don't like the fact that we're 10-6 or not. The game is going to happen. You just have to be mad. You know what I'm saying? The Cowboys get into the playoffs, bro. You're going to be playing outside of the Seahawks. You're going to be playing a team that you didn't already played and lost to. You know what I'm saying? So it's like now you just got to look at that New England. I mean, even if you get if you get New England in the Super Bowl, or you get I don't want to go that far, but you get a team like the Saints. You get a team that you played well against. Yeah, you didn't finish it off at the end, but guess what we're gonna do this time? We're gonna finish. That's it. Last time we didn't finish. Hey, you know what, Zeke? On the last game, on 3rd and 1, we gave the ball. We threw the ball. We're not gonna do that this time. We're gonna run the ball. So that's all we need to do is play one of these teams. Because we play Seattle, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? I think we got their number. But I say this: if we play one of these teams that we've lost to already, these teams that have not outskilled us, it's just been us. The Dallas Cowboys, it has been the number one reason why we 6-6. Number one reason. That's why it'd be so hard for like fans to give in. That's why I told the team, I was like, bro, you need to give the Bills some damn credit, bro. Like, them young boys was getting after Dak. Like, I thought they was all gas too. I ain't gonna lie. But that loss in 90, them boys was getting after him. I was very impressed with how they got after him.
U of H?
Huh?
The DT.
Boy! Oh, my God. And, boss, remember I called you?
He looked Aaron Donald.
Boss, remember when we first met? On the phone, on Instagram. That it was about that dude, remember? Because I was like, bro, why did your boy sit out? Because remember, he didn't a jacket. He got into it with the coach over a jacket.
Yeah, right, yeah.
In college. And I called you because I knew you knew him. Go ahead.
Aaron Donald
looked
like a star.
Oh, my God.
He looks like a star.
Against the best offensive line.
Yeah, and he really used Xavier Su'a-Filo. He used them up. Bad.
Like, Xavier didn't have no good plays against him, bro.
Nah, bro, he demolished them. But it's one of those things that it's only like one Ed Oliver, one Aaron Donald, like straight up. So we're not going to see him again because I don't think Xavier gets whooped like that by anybody else. But you're dealing with a freak when you're dealing with the Aaron Donald and you're dealing with Ed Olivers. And Ed Oliver looked like he became a pro against us. That was the emergence of Aaron Donald, not Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald, number 2.
Say, man. So anyway, because a lot of people kind of taking that for granted too. They was penetrating the interior. That's the hardest place for a quarterback to get pressure.
Up the middle. That's because the only time you see Tony Romo go down.
You can step up. Yeah. Exactly. Because when it's coming from the edge, you can kind of maneuver. You can step up and step to the side. You can do all kind of stuff that a lot of quarterbacks do with their feet work. But when that pocket is collapsing in front of you, the famous juke move that Tony Romo did on
coming
from the edge
because he was coming from the edge. But if you come straight up the middle, you know what Tony Romo did? Lay right down. Lay right down on the ground.
Duck and lay down. So I mean, it's a lot of propaganda out there saying, Dak gave up 2 turnovers. It's like I count one, the real silly interception to the defensive lineman. That's on you, Dak. But other than that, man, I ain't blaming Dak for somebody stripping him and he ain't see it. Come on, stop it. You know what I mean? That was a play to where Ed just won against Xavier Su'a-Filo. He got around him, jet speed, jet quickness, and made the swipe.
He more than won. He beat him. He just flat out
beat the snot out of him. So it's one of those things to where
Ed Oliver is a better pro than Xavier Su'a-Filo. Period.
Oh, period. And you saw literally a guy almost really take over a game. You could say that. Our momentum was getting killed by DT play from the Bills. Straight up.
And then he was playing so good, he started letting his homies eat.
Yeah.
That's the effect of having a dominant D tackle in the middle causing havoc.
A couple other things that I want to talk about too, man, is it was the first bad Jordan Lewis game. I wouldn't even call it a bad. I call it a 50-50 game because he made big plays as he does. He broke up something on Cole, and he made a sack. He kind of made it for a play, but for the most part, Cole won the matchups when they was man up. You know.
Can I throw him a bone?
So,
Can I throw him a bone? Just like we just
Yeah.
did with I love Jordan Lewis, but Cole Beasley is a better pro than Jordan Lewis is right now.
I mean, yeah, and
I'll say that
when it come down to go ahead. No, go ahead.
Because Cole Beasley has Amari Cooper like feet.
Quickness, right?
Like that's why I say bro, if we could have had an Amari Cooper and a Cole send me bro, oh my God. Like, because they're able to create their own separation. Like, most guys in the NFL can't do that. They need the quarterback to create separation for them.
Yep. Yeah.
That's why people say, Dez has lost it. Like, what are you talking about? How could Dez lose? And he was still creating separation. He was still getting the ball.
I could tell you from playing a corner position, quickness is scarier than height and muscles.
And pure fast. And pure speed, too.
Yeah. It's two things that'll scare you to death. Somebody that just run by you easy, or somebody that's so quick that you just can't keep up with them. Because they will embarrass you. They will have you crying on your girlfriend's shoulder, your wife's shoulder after the game. Straight up. I saw quick guys make my boys cry. I'm serious. Literal tears that I could not stop him. That's what Cole Beasley is. Some of those guys so quick, bro, it's really almost nothing you can do because they got low center of gravity. They get in and out their breaks. They very deceptive in their route running. And that's what Cole is, man. That's an elite route runner. You're talking about top 2, top 3 in the league in terms of quickness and separation. His separation actually went up when he went to the Bills because they targeted him more. He getting way more separation per target. So, it was a game that you actually want with Jordan Lewis. You want those type of games to grow him up because actually right now he's finally really starting to get his developmental reps.
And
so don't treat him like you want him to be a vet right now. You got to treat him like you treated Anthony Brown, where you gave him chance after chance after chance after chance. So right now, I would call it a 50-50 game, but it's a learning game for him. And more than likely, you ain't going to see no Cole Beasley type.
That's what I was about to say.
You ain't going to see because he handled up on Edelman. You got to give him his credit for handling up on Edelman. But when it came to Cole was just a little bit quicker. And it made a difference. But I would still say overall he had a good game. But it's one of those games that eventually, as he matures, I want him to become the person that can take out the Coles, not somebody that we both say Cole was just better. At some point, Jordan Lewis is going to grow the legs through experience to where he can actually be a better matchup than Cole, but it just wasn't Sunday. I mean, it wasn't Thursday. It just wasn't there. And another thing I want to say about the Bills, man, until you're ready to move on to LV, is I'm concerned about Jason Garrett and pivotal decisions. That's the thing that's keeping me up at night because I think Jerry is trying to live through him so much. It's almost like this. It's almost like when you're trying to coach and you feel like you're in a damn if you do, damn if you don't situation. Ever since Jerry Jones said something about Jason Garrett not going for that 4th down versus the Texans in 2018, he's been overly aggressive. Like to actually go for it, even though we got it. It was a bad move to go for it on 4th and 1 on our 20. And he was the first person this year to go for it on 4th and 1 on your own 20. To me, that's coaching for your job. That's not coaching like smart football. And when you're going against a good team and you know they have a winning record,
hey, bro,
that more so becomes
you know what? The fact that you said that's coaching for a job, he gets a pass right there. On that notion right there, on that alone, he gets a pass. Because if you tell me right now I'm blogging for what? Bruh, I'm going to do what I got to do.
Yeah, but it's at the same time.
But there is no but. There is no but.
No, it is a but. Like, it's one of those things to where actually making the better decision is better for your job. I can't empathize with him that he's under a
it ended up being a good decision because it worked, though. So he's not going to look at it as a bad decision.
No, it worked. But what I'm thinking about is kind of like the risk of it was so huge, bro, because you're going against a team that you know is a winning team, and that if you lose that bet and don't convert that 4th and 1, you're giving them a short field like you did against Minnesota
you also said,
when you went for that kick.
But you know what you also just said? I'm coaching for my job, so all that goes out the window. When I'm defending my family, I'm not thinking about if in the
Well,
case
you can
of
be
doing
smart.
this, I might
No, you
break
can
my
still
arm.
be smart because still being smart is
Yeah,
your best option.
but guess what? You can't be smart. He can't handle being smart when he's coaching for his job.
And that's why I'm saying he's a risk.
Well,
and that's what's keeping me up.
Yeah, but this is the thing about it. You can't hold him accountable for that because he didn't put himself in that position.
No, I can hold him accountable because he can still make the smart decision to punt.
Well, it was a smart decision because it worked.
And he can make the decision
worked.
like he made the wrong decision versus Minnesota and try to go for a 47-yard field goal early in the game.
Yeah, but it was only a
this
is the thing about it. It's only a bad decision.
Somebody need to tell Jason Garrett, a metrics person need to tell him, an analytical person need to tell him, when you're going against good teams, stick to field position, the warm field position. Like, we don't need you bold in the first quarter. We need you to not give a team momentum in the first quarter. We don't need you bold then. We need you bold as you understand the floor of the game. But
and this is what I'll say to that. This is what I say.
Why you go give somebody a position to get a chance to get momentum on you? So, yeah, you can be smart. But it's just right now, I was mentioning him
that's the
because
thing about
right now, based on the situation he's in, I see him being a liability, especially going into those big games.
And guess what? And whose fault is that? So that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't put somebody in a position where it's you against the world. Not even you against the world. It's fight to the death or you're gonna be gone. Bro, when you put in that position, it's not about being smart. It's about survival. Like, bro, there's two S's. There's being smart and there's surviving. Guess what? Jason Garrett is trying to survive. And guess who put him in that position? Jerry Jones did. That's why I said it was a horrible decision to not give him a contract. You should have just fired him. Because one, you don't even know how he's going to respond. How did we even know that Jerry he even was going to come out and be like, oh, because guess what? I've been a district manager. I was a district manager for a long time with T-Mobile, right? So with that, I've had to give people some big quotas. And you know what? Some people buck up to it and go knock it out. And you know what? Some people fold under the pressure. And you know what they do? They do worse. So Jerry Jones was already taking a risk. And then you're doing that in the exact same year where your quarterback don't have a contract. Your best wide receiver, your best player that you throw the ball to, he is almost hurt. It's like, bro, there's too many outside factors to not have somebody on a damn contract. There's too many outside factors. How you not believe in your coach? How you not believe in the wide receiver? How you not believe in the damn quarterback? Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. They all out there making survival moves because we got 27 players. 27 players on one-year contracts. I wouldn't be surprised if players start, man, I gotta play. Why? Because I don't know if I'm gonna be here next year. Half your team don't even know if they're gonna be here. And guess what? It's so easy for Jerry Jones to sit up on high. And I'll even throw Michael Bennett up there. It's so easy for Michael Bennett and Jerry Jones to sit up on high and look down when you got billions. Michael Bennett ain't got no billions, but he got millions. And he got Super Bowl appearances and a ring. To tell guys who are trying to get there, oh, y'all shouldn't be worried about that. What the hell you mean I shouldn't be worried about that? What do you mean? And then be the same fans that try to convince me that if Dak go out there and get hurt, Jerry gonna pay him. Bro, these dudes are trying to survive. And guess what? Guess who thought that this would be a good idea? Jerry freaking Jones and Steven freaking Jones.
Yeah.
They're the ones who they said, this is when we like doing our contracts.
So, like, I'm going to say it like this. I heard somebody, I don't know who it was, but they said it the best way to me. Dak is very good at playing under pressure. Some people are not.
Praise God.
Yeah.
Praise God.
Some people are not. And so it's some people that can, like, Dak can shake everything that's coming at him. Because it's exponential weight that's on Dak. A lot of us don't see it, but it's exponential weight. He's the only quarterback, and Cooper is the only receiver right now playing on a contract on their last year. This is unprecedented what's going on with those guys, right?
It's just business. That's what they tell us.
Oh no. Oh no. And I'm gonna say it like this, man. I really thought about this today. I had a dog. His name was Butch, right? I'm obviously, Butch's owner. And Butch was trying to eat one day. And I was young. I was around 10, right? And so I put the food in his bowl. And every time he tried to eat, I would kick his bowl. And then he would start eating. I would kick his bowl. It was fun to me because I'm the one that paid for the food and I had the money. Wasn't no big deal. I'd get more food. But to him, he didn't know that as a dog, right? That might be his last meal. I kept doing it. My dog bit me. Never bit me, bro. Bit my foot because he would stop playing with my food. That's what's Dak and them going through right now. Like you said, you got Jerry and Steven sitting in a high place that's billionaires, and they playing with people where it's their first contract, where it's their first chance to really become multi-millionaires, right? So you sleeping good, Jerry. You sleeping good, Steven. But what you're doing is you waking up everybody in that locker room who trying to get sleep. They trying to think about the season. But they can't think about the season because even on today, it was 2 contract leaks. And I know we're going to talk about it later, but it was 2 contract leaks. It was leaks about Cooper and Jones testing free agency. So instead of getting rid of Chicago, they getting that news. Then they come out today and leak again about Dak basically saying that he asked for $240 million for 6 years. Basically saying he asked for $40 million a year again. So here we go again. Instead of our players being able to focus on the opponent that's coming, they got to start fighting with our own PR and clear our own names that the front office is attacking them with and putting their name in the mud. Yeah. So all of a sudden you see, we'll get into that later, but man, but just to your point, man, no, that's a huge deal. Like a huge deal that most people discount. Most people discount. But see, how can you watch all the evidence start to come out and listen to what Bennett really said and then trick yourself to say, oh, it ain't no big deal. It's going to
obviously
work out.
If he's yelling about it this is the thing, right? Like, can we just say something for all you guys that be like, Dak's contract's not a problem. He's okay with it. Well, put it to you like this. Obviously, someone has a problem with it. You want to know why? Because Jerry Jones talked about it. Remember, Jerry Jones specifically said, we need to stop talking about these contracts and win us a damn football game. So you know what that means? Somebody was talking about a damn contract.
Yeah, it's on their head.
Michael Bennett, after the loss, goes in and yells at the whole team, we need to stop talking about this contract and we need to talk about being great because you're not going to be remembered for being great. You're going to be remembered for being the great. No, you're not. I'm going to ask you right now. The Dallas Cowboys won a Super Bowl, right? When's the last time we won a Super Bowl, right? Anybody throw that year in there. Throw it in there, right? Who was the starting quarterback for the last time the Dallas Cowboys won a Super Bowl? Who was it? Troy Aikman? All right. Mm-hmm. Who was the starting running back? Okay. Who was the backup right tackle?
Say it again. Don't know. Even though they got a Super Bowl.
Okay.
I get your point.
Who was the backup right tackle?
Thank you.
That dude got a ring. So you told me that dude? Yes, he got a ring. Yeah, he got a ring. 3
But you still don't remember him, right?
But you don't. What? And he got paid. What?
Exactly. You still don't remember, right? So basically, what you're saying, Michael Bennett, is not true.
That ain't true.
One of the things too, man. Let's all be honest. Michael Bennett took a side when he said that. See, because Tank rule was this:
we don't talk about
bring up other people money. You don't talk about people money. But the fact that he knew to the locker room and the culture before Bennett got here was you don't do that.
You don't talk about nobody's money.
You don't talk about people money. That was also Michael Irvin's rule. How many times did Michael Irvin say that? That's a cardinal rule. That's a culture thing. You don't do that. When somebody's in a fight with front office to get paid, don't butt in that. And he did. And he took a side. Like most people don't really peep that. But when you start talking about worrying about people contracts, you stepped with Jerry on that. You stepped with Steven on that. And then this is the worst part about you stepping with them. Jerry and Steven are the ones that's actually doing Dak and Cooper dirty. And people not factoring that in right. So it's like, no, they are both trying to get their future secure. And like you said, putting their lives on the line, health on the line, Dak and now running into people versus Buffalo head first for first downs. And he got hit on the knee. So did Cooper. And that very game you talking about, them boys ain't deserve to be talking about contracts.
Bro, after Cooper took that hit, oh my God, man, my freaking throat stopped. Oh my God, bro. You know how you just get that, that, bro. I was like,
where everything go quiet.
Yes,
yeah,
bro.
And the way he laid, it looked like it was done. And so, how can you watch your guy sitting there and you know that if he would have hurt his ACL, that he lost millions?
My thing is this: just don't wear a Dak jersey, because don't be out here wearing a Dak jersey representing him, and then on these social media platforms talking about Dak's okay with not getting paid. Because he gonna de-law you and tell you got the wrong jersey on. You ain't supporting me. You mean?
George Taylor.
My boy Jizzle says, bruh, a lot of guys will get paid. How do you know that? How do you know that? Because think about this. I just want to give you guys
a lot of guys will get paid.
Yeah, I mean, that's the assumption that people have. But think about this. The Dallas Cowboys are barely playing players that have already established themselves in this league who are on your team and under contract. So how do you think, and I established this in my earlier video, Dak Prescott is going to be, when next year, he's going to be the number one quarterback available. Who would you rather have, Cam Newton or Dak Prescott on your team right now? Slap yourself if you say Cam Newton. Slap yourself if you say Cam Newton. He's not even really marketable because of his bad attitude. Think of that. Amari Cooper is going to be the number one available wide receiver next year. Oh, the number one. And this guy named Robert Quinn has 9.5 sacks. He's on pace to have 14. Well, we gave DeMarcus Lawrence a franchise tag of 18.9 for 10.
Yeah.
So what do you do with that guy who's going to get 14 sacks? So now you're telling me the Dallas Cowboys got to sign the number one quarterback available, the number one wide receiver available, and the number one defensive player available in the free agency, Stephen Jones? You know how much money that is? They're going to write one for Dak for 160. Cooper going to be like 100. Quinn, it's going to take at least, I think it's going to be like Donovan Sue numbers, like 12, 13 million.
That'd be a lick. Do that for 3 years.
Yeah, if you can get that, if he'll sign it, I'd give it to him.
Yeah.
So that's 30.
Yeah.
We're talking about a third. Are we really talking about a $300 million offseason? Do you really think yo mama's going to the grocery store and buying you? I'm going to be honest with you, right? When the new Jordans came out, I never went to the mall because I knew my mama was not about to spend no $100 on no Jordan. She wasn't doing it. That's why I barely like Jordans to this day. My mama wasn't doing it. No. How much them Jordans? $89? Are you going to jump faster? My mama wasn't doing it. So I want y'all to look at your Jerry Jones in the face. And I want you guys to ask your daddy, is your daddy really going to spend $300 million on basically three players in one offseason? I don't see it. Oh, yeah, Byron Jones, we're not even considering Byron Jones. If you just now saying Byron Jones is gone, bless your little heart. I'm just playing with you, Greg, but Byron Jones gone.
It's a lot of stuff, man. It's a lot of stuff going on with these contracts that I promise that a lot of fan base just don't understand.
They just don't understand.
Because if they understood it, they would be very angry at the right people.
Why do you have 27 players on 1-year deals?
Yeah, and those are the low-hanging fruit and the easier ones to get done. So I'm not even going to focus on those. I know I'm with you. They set it up in a way where they didn't secure their future well. They tried to put everybody on a sense of urgency. That's fine. You did the Sun Tzu, put everybody back against the wall. Philosophy, cool. Fine. But in terms of budget and what's going on with that, and the news that came out today that they thinking about franchising tagging Dak, people don't understand really that that's setting up for real ugly war, especially when you come out with it now. Because what you basically telling Dak is, I haven't seen enough this year.
And no matter what you
won
do,
in yards, you top 3 in touchdowns, you top 2 in QBR. You have the individual numbers to say that you're a franchise quarterback. Therefore, you should at least get franchise pay.
We
right?
just don't want to pay it.
They saying we're not going to pay it, but most people don't know what that means to Dak. What that means to Dak is losing this year between $31 and $33 million just because Dallas saying we just want to wait. And so what they saying is we go wait. We're not going to pay you this year, even though you outperforming the other guys who got paid.
Carson Wentz got paid last year. Goff got paid last year. Are any of those dudes leading their division right now?
No. And Dak statistically is outperforming those guys. And actually, most guys who broke franchise record contracts, like Matthew Stafford, like Garoppolo, like Cousins, like all of those guys were market setters. Stephen Jones said, we're not setting the market with you, even though you are outperforming 8 out of the last 10 contracts that was all market setters. And you beat the highest one last year, Russell Wilson.
And think about this. Think about this, bro. Think about this. We don't even got it. Let's just talk about our division, because there's pride in winning your division, right? Bro, when we beat the Philadelphia Eagles, bro, they
3 divisions in 4 years.
Bro,
and it's gonna be 3 Pro Bowls.
But listen to this though. Bro, that same quarterback that got paid, you didn't beat him. He hasn't beaten you in almost 3 years. Like Dak Prescott, I don't get it. Who cares how good Dak Prescott is outside the division? You should pay him off of just how good he is inside his division. The boy's 17-4.
Yeah.
You know what that means? That means you're going to the playoffs every single
year. Yeah.
That's the type of stuff people don't get.
Games. Yeah.
That means you're going to the playoffs.
Get hot for 3 games.
Boss, think about this. And you know what that also means? No matter how good your team is, you're going to the playoffs every year.
Right. Yeah. So you get a whole lot of chances and cracks at the Super Bowl.
Well, think about this, bro. Think about this. You have Minnesota. Look at Minnesota. They have Green Bay in their division. Look at freaking Seattle. They got San Francisco in their division. They got the same record. Think about this. Seattle gonna win all them games just to come to Dallas Cowboys, just to come out here to Dallas.
Yep, facts.
They gonna win all them games just to come back to Dallas.
It's facts.
And play an away game against us.
Now, it was another point that I was trying to get to. I was a little long-winded.
Hey, we skipped the LVE out again. We're gonna talk about
we'll talk about that.
We're actually on the third point in the middle right there.
Money. Yeah, we're on Dak Z Coop money. One of the things that a lot of people not factoring is when somebody takes $31 or $33 million out your pocket and tell you, even though you was on a prove-it deal this year, that we gonna want you to prove it again next year in 2020, you think Dak gonna sign that?
No.
Everybody saying Dallas is just gonna tag him. Dak is not signing that, bro. He is not signing a $33.6 million tag when they done already took $31 million out your pocket.
No, he's not.
No, it's setting up for hostility. It's already at a point of insult. It's already at a point of really Dak should have been held out at this point because the insult is just blatantly loud at this point. They basically said, we're not paying you $31 million that's due to you now.
Yeah.
We gonna continue to let you play under a $600,000 contract. The only reason Dallas is projected to have $94 million in cap space
is because 27 people are on 1-year deals.
is because they had a quarterback that was playing for 9 figures for only $600,000. So that's what allowed Dallas to be able to stack the money that they're stacking now going into 2020 is because they didn't have to pay Dak. So already when he was under a discounted contract, it allowed them to accumulate. But now it's time and he's due. And they telling him when the last 10 outset the market, yeah, you help save us. Yes, you making us $125 million in endorsement money every year. Yes, you're a great leader. Yes, everybody follow you. Yes, you got a master's degree. Yes, you got like 2 Pro Bowls and 2 division championships. You're more than likely going to have 3 when the season is over with Pro Bowls and 3 division championships. We still don't want to pay you market value.
Hey, Sherrod, I'm gonna start asking you guys. Sherrod says if I was Dak, I wouldn't run the ball at all. I'm curious, why wouldn't you do that if you were Dak?
I wouldn't either.
I y'all know my reasons, but I'm curious. If you were Dak, Sherrod says he would not run the ball at all. Damn, Sherrod, I thought you was a Cowboy fan. You know I'm just playing with you. I mean, yeah, you ain't gonna do one for the team. Hey, Instagram is about to go down, but I'm gonna come right back up. Don't trip. But I want to know, Sherrod, why wouldn't you run the ball, Sherrod? You know what I'm saying? You don't trust Jerry Jones? You don't trust Jerry Jones? You don't think Jerry Jones? Jerry Jones said he got you, man. Jerry, it's so funny. Jerry Jones be that dude that be like, I have never been known to have my fingers cramp up while I'm writing a check. And you know what I'm thinking? That's because you didn't write the check, though.
You're right.
Of course your finger didn't cramp because you never wrote the check, Jerry.
Yep.
Jerry's the type of dude that will flaunt about having it while not doing it. Like, how are you going to tell me to trust you? Trust me, I'm going to do this, and you're not doing it. You know what I'm saying? But I think let's talk about hey, this next subject is sponsored by Cowboys Packages, man. I appreciate you guys, the official travel partner of West Coast and Boss Cowboy, man. We be out there, man. This December 15th, we're gonna be in Dallas for Dallas versus Rams. We're gonna be blowing them Rams, sending them back to California. So let's get on to this next subject. I think we talked about Dak and his money, Zeke and his money, their money, and Coop's money. I think everybody know that they need to get paid. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you don't believe they need to get paid, inbox me and I will tell you that you are need to slap yourself. This is what it is. Like, there's nothing you can really tell me to make me, because there isn't no change in mind. You know what I'm saying? The contract problem is a problem. Because if it wasn't a problem, it wouldn't be a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it wasn't a problem, we wouldn't be talking about it. But obviously it's a problem because they're talking about it. You know what I'm saying? So,
like, people realize that Bennett is only 3 weeks in the locker room and already see the problem of contract talks. That's an epic distraction that we created. But let's talk about the next subject.
Yeah. Okay. Sherrod said, okay, Sherrod gave me my answer. He says, because if he get hurt, he's not going to get paid. And if he gets hurt, he can't play football once he's basically he's talking about just putting himself at risk. And guess what? People say, oh, but he can get hurt. He can get hurt just standing in the pocket. Yeah, you're right. I could get struck by lightning inside my houses, but my chances of standing in the rain with a goddamn foil jacket on is way more higher. That's what I'm saying. And you know what Dak is? He's standing in the rain with a goddamn foil jacket on. Why? Because he's playing with a $160 million time bomb. Meaning this, if he just skirts out the wrong way, bow, gets blow up. You know what the Dallas Cowboys going to do? They're going to franchise you for show now. And you ain't got no leg to stand on. The biggest leg that Dak has to stand on is the fact that other teams are going to want him. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I told y'all this. Y'all better stop treating Dak like he that ugly girl at your school that ain't gonna have no prom date. She's gonna get on Instagram, get some of them filters, find one of them Latino girls to do her makeup, come to prom. Oh, got a Brad Pitt on her arm. You gonna be looking like, wow, what did I do? I'm like, yeah, you messed up.
West Coast, man. Let me say one more thing on this contract stuff, bro. You said about 4 months ago.
Hey, hold on, stop. I gotta say something real quick. Efren, he says everyone is at risk. That's the game of football. No, you're absolutely right. Everyone is at risk, but there are higher degrees of risk. My degree, Antoine Woods' degree of risk is greater than Dak Prescott. Why? Because Antoine Woods doesn't have a possible $160 million contract on the table. And we already know that they offered him $30 million. 30 times 5 is what? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. That's 150 right there. So don't tell me that someone playing on a 1-year deal that turned down 150 has the same risk as someone who can only make $2 or $3 million. No, that is not the same game as football. No, it's not.
And another thing,
no, it's not.
We got to stop getting the billionaires back, especially when you can see the billionaires' pocket. It's something that's called Sport Track, to where you can actually go see for yourself the projected cap space that the Dallas Cowboys are sitting on. And they're projected to have $94 million. Will we stop this trying to protect billionaires that's sitting on multiple millions, trying to act like they didn't got the money? Because they lie in your face every time they say it. When they say, we're trying to get Dak to understand that we can't build around him unless we get him to take a little bit of a pay cut and come under market.
Who on the offense do you got to sign, though? You got to sign Amari Cooper.
Exactly.
He was already signed. Your offensive line is already signed. Michael Gallup doesn't get to come up to the year after next. Who do you got to sign? A tight end? Slap yourself.
Yeah, you pretty much signed the core of your team. The core of the biggest pieces is pretty much signed. The biggest stars on our team are already signed. Everybody else are more so role players. Or you can even say it like this, replaceable role players.
Yeah.
Even a lot of them, they're all replaceable.
Lilo says, why can't they just restructure? You can't restructure a contract when there is no contract. He's on a 1 year of a deal. You can only restructure a contract that has future years, because you're gonna add those years that you have on top of those years. So it has to be something there. You can't restructure a rookie deal. You can't restructure a rookie contract. It's impossible, because it runs out. You know what I'm saying? That's why rookie contracts get extended. They just take an additional contract and they stack it on top of it. The only time you can restructure someone's contract is say it's 2018 and they have a contract that runs through 2020. You can restructure that contract and cut the money up, and say they get paid like 5 and 5. You can say, instead of giving you 5 and 5, you're gonna take that 10 and divide it over 3 years and give you an additional year. You know what I'm saying? So instead of getting 5 and 5 million, you'll get 3.5, 3.5, 3.5. That's what a restructure is. But you can't restructure. Like, what would you how would you restructure?
You don't have
$900,000. Like, what are you gonna restructure? What are you gonna restructure? Now he's only making what, not like with an NFL incentives, he's gonna make $2 million.
He need a contract to do a restructure.
Yeah, but there's nothing to restructure. There's nothing there.
Restructure. There's no contract to restructure. He's gonna be a free agent unless he's tagged.
And think about this. This is something that I just said that I think was just monumental. Boss, you always do this to me, but I think this was big, bro. Like, we know Dak, they offered Dak at least $30 million a year, right?
Insult.
Huh?
Which is an insult.
But we know they offered it, right?
He did.
On a 6-year deal, how much money is that, Dak? I mean, how much money is that? That's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. If they offered him a 6, that means Dak has already turned down 180.
Yep.
On a 6-year. So for y'all people that's running out there saying, oh, it's the same risk, how in the hell is that the same risk?
Nah.
And you want to know why he turned down that 160? Is because he's looking at Carson Wentz and he's saying, that guy doesn't even have to win division titles to get 160. Why do I got to win a Super Bowl?
Exactly.
How is that anywhere fair?
Yeah. And somebody said this, how do we know that Jerry and Dak made a bet that Dak can take the Cowboys to the Super Bowl and he will pay him for it? I'm going to tell you how we know that didn't happen. Because first of all, Dak has never asked for $40 million. $40 million, he said out his own mouth that we all think about what Dak said. Dak said, I am not looking to be what? The highest paid quarterback. Meaning what Jerry and them said about that $40 million is a lie. Because the highest paid quarterback right now in the average per year is Russell Wilson. So he was saying right there in his own mouth, I'm not looking for $40 million. I'm looking for around 33.5 to 34, and I want a higher total guarantee, which makes sense for him because he's durable. That makes sense for him. Goff and Wentz got big guarantees at 108 and 110.
12.
Million.
Oh, yeah, you're right, 10, because I wanted Dak to be at 12. I apologize.
Yeah, so 108 and then 110 million guarantee was Wentz and then Goff's total guarantee. Both of them been injured. Dak has never been injured. So who makes the most sense to get a total guarantee over a 6-year period of time. That because
each one of those players has had a season where it felt like they regressed too.
Exactly. And then another thing is this.
And look at the money the Eagles have invested in trying weapons, man. I'm going to make the video at the end of the season like, Eagles, have you ever thought that, like, maybe our quarterback isn't good? Like, because, like, they have invested money into their weapons.
Yeah.
Like, they drafted draft picks. They got a Hall of Fame tight end and a kid that looks like he's going to be just as good. They got Ashawn Jeffries, who was the number 1 wide receiver in the franchise. Boss, you the one that put me up on that. They got Arguelera, who was a first-round pick that they drafted. Then they got Arcega-Whiteside, who's nasty.
Yep.
Then they just released Jordan Matthew last week.
Yeah, they whipping the hell out of him.
And they got goddamn the light-skinned boy run fast, Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, as an addition.
You still can't get it done, Carson Wentz.
Howard, Ajayi, and Sanders, they added all that to Wentz and paid him.
And in that season, you know what he did? Laid a duck.
A duck. A straight duck.
It's funny. You paid Wentz and told him go get it. And you know what he did? Laid a duck. You told Dak, I'm not ready. I don't think. You know what he did? He's playing like a top 3, top 4 quarterback.
See, Earl said we really don't know what Jerry Dak said behind closed doors. I hear you. But one thing we can do is deduct what doesn't.
But you know what? I say this. People only say that when they want them to believe what they want to believe. There's enough factual evidence out there for you to know what the heck is going on. Like, you can choose to believe what you want to believe, but here we speak that truth. So,
West Coast is basically there's enough out there for you to deduct easily.
Yeah, exactly. That's called the series of deduction. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't A, if it ain't B, has to be C. This is what it is.
Let me give you a good example. So everybody says, well, they made him a $30 million offer. Dak should have took it. Now, the franchise tag is 33.6. If somebody make you an offer of 30, when your bottom right now is already 33.6, what are they doing, West Coast?
They're shorting you 2.5 million times 12.
Right. So
times six. So it's actually $13 million. They're shorting me. They're trying to short me $13 million on my contract. That's a lot.
So if you in your house, West Coast, or whoever listening, I'm gonna ask you, Earl. Let's say you put your house on the market, and you know the market value of your home is $100,000. You gonna let somebody make your offer $80,000? No, you could be like, you're not serious, because you know my house worth $100,000. You know that. So the fact that you coming to me with a $30 million offer when you know at bottom I'm worth 33.6, you never was serious about this contract in the first place.
Nope. You were just looking. What
they did not talk about. So when we say we don't know what they talked about, yes, we don't know exactly what they talked about, but I can tell you this: a $30 million
result in a contract.
A $30 million offer was not serious when Wentz is getting 32 and Goff is getting 33.5. And the franchise tag is 33.6. There is no way Dak is going to take an offer worse than 2 people that he's clearly outperforming. It's not going to happen. So when you see reports outside of the $40 million, we got to think, right? Well, some of us don't have the information, so let me just give you the information. If Dak did ask for $40 million, he would have been asking for the biggest jump in history on a quarterback contract.
Yeah.
And that does not match what he said. That a $5 million jump from Russell Wilson's 35 to 40 million is exponential. The biggest jump of all time was Aaron Rodgers when he went from 30 million under Matt Ryan to 33.5. That was the biggest jump in history. And we believe in the story that Dak asked for 40.
That's cool.
No.
That's like a
different. That did not happen. Anybody that's saying 40 in 2019, just take it all the way out your vocabulary, because that did not happen. Dak out his own mouth told you, I'm looking for 33 to 34, and I'm ready to close this out.
Yeah. Hey, man, and just kind of ended up, man, these are my thoughts, man, on my thought. He says, Poker Guy says, but if he wins the Super Bowls, he'll make money in endorsements. And I have, not trying to be mean to you, Poker Guy, but I got to tell you this, man, so what?
He already making money on endorsements.
My thing is this, too. Like, if your wife works at the hospital, and she makes $15 an hour, and she's a damn good employee. But then she also has a business on the side that she does hair, and she sells hair, and she does people hair. How would you feel if her boss came in her yearly raise and said, "Hey, Cheryl, we see that you're doing really good over there with your hair business, and because of your hair business, we're not, instead of giving, we gave everybody else the that is in your range that's considered a franchise manager, we gave them this rate. But since you have this hair business, we feel that,
don't need it.
Not that you don't need it, we feel that we shouldn't have to pay you that.
Right. Yeah.
So since you have all that money making hair, we're just, instead of giving you your $2 raise to 17, we're just going to give you 16. Why? Because you'll make it up with your hair business."
You
Like,
say,
do you know how asinine that sounds? Do you know how dumb? Like, as a husband, your lady should quit right then.
Right.
And then she should call and eat OD, and she should shoot the hell out of them. Actually, what she should really do is let them do it, because after they do it, you'll get penalties. So let them do it and then sue them. That's not legal advice. That's just some stuff I might have saw. But yeah, nobody's gonna do that. That doesn't make any sense. That's why when people's like, "Oh, but Dak has so what?" What does that mean? You ain't got no side hustle. If you ain't got no side hustle in 2019, you probably broke. Like, a lot of people out there wondering, "Why I ain't got no money?" Because you just got a job. Get you a damn side hustle. It's 2019. What are you doing? They got Uber, they got Lyft, they got everything. Like, what are you doing? Why are you broke in 2019? Why?
And that type of bet
that's for somebody.
That type of bet, West Coast.
Get off your ass.
That type of bet, West Coast, is the type of bet that you make if you are in Kawhi.
But basically, they're mad at Dak for getting money since Jerry's not paying him. What?
And
So since Jerry don't pay him, he should just stay broke?
People keep saying this. Dak needs to win a Super Bowl. Then he can. Like, why would you bet when you also have to depend on 21 other players with you to accomplish what? You're not going to put your future in the hands of 21 other people, meaning your teammates, because it's more than Dak that would be the key to getting to a Super Bowl, right? So people saying Dak should get to the Super Bowl when it's going to take 22 players and special teams to get to a Super Bowl.
Or if it does, that means Zeke gets a new contract after he wins one. Because you can't. Because you got to think about this. You got to think like this. You can't. If you're gonna pay Zeke, if you're gonna pay Dak for winning a Super Bowl, that means as soon as Zeke wins a Super Bowl, he can rip that $90 million contract up. Why? Because that wasn't for winning a Super Bowl.
Right.
I'm just saying it got to be fair all around, right?
Right. Exactly. And then the worst thing about it is that standard that the Dallas Cowboys created for Dak is not a standard that applies to anybody else. Like, in order for all the other quarterbacks and franchise quarterbacks to be market setters, because all of them was, Matthew Stafford set the market in 3 categories, right? Garoppolo set the market in 2. Carr set the market. Aaron Rodgers, obviously. Then Russell Wilson did. I mean, all these different quarterbacks, Wentz set the market, and Goff set the market in total guarantee. So all of them get to set the market.
Hey, did Tony Romo get a contract?
He set the market too.
I know, but did he actually physically get a contract?
Yeah, he got it.
Okay, did Tony Romo win a Super Bowl?
No.
Okay, so if you were a Cowboy fan, how can you look at that double standard in the face?
Exactly, and how would that? So you played the
we glazed over that too fast. How can you look that double standard in the face?
You can't. You can't. Because Romo got 2 contracts. The $108 million contract was record-setting. It was the highest contract at that time.
Yeah.
Even though it was spread over 6 years, he still set the market in a total contract. And so he was a market setter. And then Dak's supposed to be, and you sitting here telling me we don't do that? Steven saying, I don't set the market. You said it with Zach Martin. You said it with Romo.
Dez.
You said it with Dez.
Fredericks.
And
Tyron Smith.
Zeke. So
Sean
you're
Lee.
Me with $94 million sitting in the bank, different than these guys.
And we were actually hurting then. When we signed Tony, we was actually in lightweight, like salary cap hell. That's why they couldn't get him no weapons.
Right.
Because we had the money for it.
Now we sit literally in cap heaven. We literally gonna have next year more cap space than we had in the last 8 combined. So we sitting here in cap heaven trying to tell players that's due that we're not gonna pay you market value. We're not gonna set the market with you. We want you and demand you to take a team-friendly deal. Did Antonio Brown take a team-friendly deal, West Coast?
Hell nah.
Did Odell Beckham take one?
Hell nah.
Did Wiz take one?
Bro, that's why I be getting so mad, man, when people be saying, but they want to be Cowboys. They should be, what? Okay, if you want to work at Walmart, they cutting everybody pay. You stand?
No.
Slap yourself. Ain't that type of loyalty in the world. Like, I hate that, man. It irritates me so much.
Yeah, it's basically sucking up the billionaires. It's like, look, man, see, I'm not going to let somebody with $94 million in the bank tell me you ain't got the money to pay me my 30 or my 20.
And I'm looking at the money in the bank account. Like, I can see my money, Jerry. Like, I can physically see it.
That's what's insulting, West Coast, is that they come to us as if we can't look it up for ourselves. You can go look it up for yourself. Go to Sport Track right now and just do it. Or you can just go to Google and say projected 2020 cap space. And just one click is going to put up $94 million projected for Dallas Cowboys. 94. And guess what, West Coast? That doesn't even factor in the potential bump from the CBA.
And the money you're going to save from when you re-sign Amari Cooper.
And the money that you're going to save that when you sign Amari Cooper, especially if you do it now. You got to literally do it now to save them. But at the same time, they saying that the revenues from this new deal with the CBA is going to go up another 30%. And they saying they projecting that the cap could also go up in one bump an extra 30%. So when they said $94 million, West Coast, that didn't project that in the new CBA. It could be as high as 120 before cuts. So you sitting on all this money, sitting up here telling me I ain't got the money. And I can see it for myself. And it's like, I don't know how long y'all gonna let Jerry and Steven insult your intelligence, but I'm not gonna let him do it to me one damn day. I'm gonna look at the real fault of the matter, and the real fault of the matter is the fact that Stephen Jones is trying to get his best players, not just Dak, but Cooper also, to try to do what's never been done. They trying to tell people that's going to be top of the food chain in free agency that they must take a friendly deal. And that's never happened. All the people we named, none of them took a friendly deal. Not Wentz, not Goff, not Odell Beckham. AB didn't take one twice, and he's a troublemaker.
He went to New England and said, I love it, but you still going to have to pay me.
Yeah, this dude acted a fool, went to another team that still got market. What are y'all talking about? And so then Steven get to walk up to this guy that was making $600,000 and say, yeah, you was playing for peanuts, but I don't give a damn. You still gonna take on the market. You gonna let somebody slap you like that? It's like, hell no. I'm playing better football than Wentz and Goff. I'm getting market, period. And y'all figure it out. And then even if we go into Chicago, they leaking stuff about our own players where they can't even focus on football. And people don't even see it. They putting out there, Dak is being unreasonable. Hold on, Steven. We heard you 4 weeks ago quote on 105.3 the fan that y'all was close. Now you saying y'all fall? Goddamn, what's loud truth?
And how did it change in a month?
Yeah, now you're changing. And then you saying this man want $40 million when the man said out his own mouth, I don't want no $40 million. I don't want Russell Wilson money, but I damn sure better be more than Wentz and Goff. So all you got to go do is go look at their numbers. Wentz is 32, Goff is 33.5. So Dak is saying, if you give me 34, 6 years, 112 guarantee, I set the market in the guarantee, I eat on the APY, the average per year, I take that slap for the team. That's the deal he want. Steve and them still saying, no. Come on, man. Come on. And then we don't even realize that this is a distraction that we put on our own locker room. And we asking, to your point, West Coast, Jason Garrett to clean it up.
Yeah.
We make the mess. And let me ask everybody a question. Just name me a player right now on somebody's roster going through what Cooper and Dak is going through. Just name me one. Name me one that's going to be a top franchise player that's still waiting to get paid. Name me one. Name me one where they playing through the season right now with the concern of money and football at the same time. It's not it's not one. It's not even one. You know why? Because the other 31 owners say this. Yeah, we gonna be dirty in the offseason about paying you. That's why Michael Thomas had to hold out. That's why Julio Jones was holding out during training camp. But before kickoff game one, they always paid. Because they say you are not going into the season with contracts distracting you from football. All the other teams do that. But Jerry and Steven, because they just like to get us to talk, and they like clickbait, and they like, they just like us having a buzz. They like money and buzz over winning. They carrying this distraction all the way to week 14.
Yeah, man. I ain't gonna lie, I don't know. Now the Dallas Cowboys are too close. It doesn't, to the Jerry Jones, there's no way I think he gets a deal this year, because now you're too close to week 17 now. You're too close to saving that money. You know what I'm saying? Why would you pay it now? You know what I'm saying? So, but hey, man, let's switch subjects real quick before we get up out of here, man. LVE has been announced that he will not be back week 14. I think there's probably a good chance. I said this earlier, man. I said this on my video I made. I said, man, I think there's a really good chance. When he said career ending, or that he said it wasn't career ending, I said, well, dang, why you didn't say season ending? You know what I'm saying? I don't think we're going to see too much of LVE, man, this year. And I don't know, man. If LVE is hurt for the rest of this year, I definitely think that linebacker becomes that even more important in the draft again.
Thanks, bro. It
feels like we messed up in the last 2 years on draft. It almost feels.
Yeah, let's just be honest about that, because the
I thought it was just this year, but I'm going further back, and I'm like, wow.
And you can, and you have a right to do so, because when we all stop and pause and think, those of us who kept up with this stuff, when did they start leaking out stuff about his neck concerns?
Well, I knew about it. I remember I was on the draft floor when he got drafted, and I turned around and asked, I forget his name, but he's Drew Pearson's, he does all Drew Pearson's interviews and stuff. And he's like, yeah, his neck's going to be fine. The Cowboys feel blah, 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 blah. Like, all right, whatever. A year later, he has stingers. Stinger's not even an official medical term, but whatever. That means they don't really know what it is, or they know and they don't want to tell us. Because a stinger is not an official medical term. You cannot get diagnosed, oh, he has a stinger. No, you have a pinched nerve, which is causing that stinging effect. The stinging is the stinger, that is the feeling that the person feels. That's not the actual physical. You know what I mean? Have you ever heard someone get diagnosed with a stinger? No, there's something wrong with your arm or your neck or your leg.
Just nerves.
It's his nerves. There's something wrong with his neck.
And Earl X. Sanders said it was right before the draft. You're right. About a week before the draft is where they started leaking out information that it was concerns on LVE's neck.
That's why I was so mad when they drafted him, too. I got to argue.
And Ephraim Perez said a long time ago that's why he has that brace. So there's a history, just like there was a history on Carson Wentz that I learned about later. There's been a long history on this injury history Wentz. Same thing with LVE. And so sometimes you can hope that it goes away. You can say, you know what, we're going to take a chance on this guy. We're going to partner him with our doctors, which we have, world-class doctors and stuff like that. And you make that bet, just like they did with Jalen. But sometimes when you make a bet, sometimes you crap out, right? You roll dice, right? There's a chance of snake eyes on that first roll, just like it's a chance for 7, right? The chances for 7 is greater. But the snake eyes sometimes roll out when you got money on the line. And snake eyes mean you automatically lose. That's a 1 in a 1 if anybody that throws dice, like I have. But anyway, that's kind of what we're looking at with LVE. I talked to Ronnie Braxton. He's a trainer, and he actually trains. West Coast know him, real good friend of both of ours. He's a trainer that literally trains pro athletes, right? We gonna have him on the show too, man. Dude, very interesting. He know a lot of the athletes. He actually trained a lot of the Dallas Cowboys. But one of the things Ronnie was telling me, I was talking to him yesterday. He said, "Boss, that's a neck, bro. That ain't like no hamstring.
Exactly.
That ain't like shoulder, bro. That's a neck." And he say, "Bro, that could be it."
Hey, remember when we were talking to the scout group and they were like, "Yeah, bro," they were like, "West Coast, it's not the same injury, bro. It's a different injury." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's the same neck though." Like how many head injuries do you get to have? Not too many. Usually you get one. If you have two, something about your life is different.
Right.
If you have one, typically off of one head injury, your body lifestyle is gonna be different. A neck is in that same situation. Why? Because it's not like eyes. You can have a bad eye while you got two. You have a bad hand, you got two. Bruh, how many times you gonna have a neck issue? Like you can't have too many neck issues.
And we all should have known from
Like
that.
that's the whole walking thing. Your neck got something to do with that.
Yeah, and see and this is the thing, man. All of us should have known when we saw that big old neck brace in the first place, because that's so high school. That's so little league to have them big old neck braces. I was cool with it, but at the same time, you didn't see that extra precaution. You don't see that pretty much anywhere in the league but LVE. That big old neck brace that looked like how boys used to do in high school and little league. I mean, so it's always been obviously a concern, and it was freakish when he got hit because it was a knee that kind of compressed his neck, but now he's dealing with it again. So it's one of those things that we're not trying to be Debbie Downers, but when you start seeing the same thing that was on your draft report the week of, and this is what they were saying, he's going to drop in the draft because of it. I wanted us to move down because I felt like I was certain we were still going to be able to get him because of the neck. But they came out and said, it was nothing wrong with his neck. His neck was fine. And LVE said, I don't know where that report came from. Okay. Well, maybe it's true. Maybe it was never anything wrong with his neck. Maybe it was just people trying to leak stuff out to get him to drop because they really wanted him. That type of stuff happens in the draft. But it shows suspect to me. It shows suspect to me that now we're dealing with the exact same thing that everybody was warned about the week of the draft when we drafted you.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's why I know that the Dallas Cowboys, you know, we were talking the other day. I was like, it's crazy because LVE was actually drafted to be insurance for Sean Lee, and now Sean Lee is insurance for LVE.
Yeah, it's weird, ain't it?
Oh, how a season has changed.
True, yeah.
And I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like, could LVE have a season-ending injury and the Dallas Cowboys trying to wait and see if it can get better? Absolutely. Did you hear about a guy named Travis Fredericks? Yeah, he didn't play all 2018, but did you know we didn't unactivate him until week 11? So for 11 weeks, we were bringing him out there and hoping him, hey, you think you can play? You think you can go? No? Okay. Week 2, hey, you think you can go? You can't go? Okay. So could the Dallas Cowboys? Heck yes, absolutely. Same thing with Amari Cooper. I said, man, Amari Cooper, I think he's going to be dealing with this injury all year. Praise God, there's only a possibility of 7 more games this season, right? But he's going to be dealing with that all year because the only way you can fix your feet is to get off of them. LV, right. The only way that you can fix your neck is to be still somewhere. Is to sit down somewhere and be still.
Stop using it. Yep.
Yeah, like that's why when people when you get in a neck surgery, what do they do? Put it in a brace and it restricts your neck from moving. Why? Because you need to leave it in a place so it can heal.
Mm-hmm.
But how can you do that playing football? So I'm gonna tell you this, like his neck will not get better in this year. The only thing that we can hope is it doesn't because honestly, Tony Romo never got healed. He just handled the pain. So it's just like now we're just hoping that these guys can handle the pain. That the pain is not as severe that it changes the way they play. But they're always going to be a level of them being hurt this year. Why? Because you don't get the repair into the offseason. Why? Because the game we play in 3 days. Like I was with Jalen Smith this weekend, and the only thing my boy complained about while being proud about is the fact that he had 14 tackles. And you know when he told you he had 14 tackles? When they was like, Jalen, you want to get in this and ride this little bicycle thing for the kids? Bro, I had 14 tackles. Hey, Jalen, you want to get in this iFly, man, and do this work exercise? Bruh, my body is hurting, bro. I had 14 tackles. And guess what? He about to play in 3 days.
Yo.
So anybody, this is like not the time. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. When we had the 3 games in 18 days, I knew that if you were hurt, you were probably gonna miss 2 games automatically because the work cycle naturally took you into the next game.
Yep.
So that's why I kept saying, like, when LVE first got hurt, I was like, he's not gonna play these 3 games. Why? Because when is he gonna recover? You got 3 games in 18 days. Like, there's no time. There's absolutely no time for it. So that's why I was like, whoever gets hurt during this time is going to be hurt. Antoine Woods, guess what? He's probably going to be hurt. Just there's no time.
West Coast, given the fact that we're dealing with a neck, if, in your opinion, do you think we should just basically just make LVE inactive? Because to me,
I'm going to keep it 100 with you, absolutely, because that's why you have Sean Lee, bro. Like, why is Sean Lee making $7-8 million still then?
right, like I think that should be something that we heavily weigh as an option because I'd rather have LVE for the next 3 years versus us rushing him out there and then we mess around and lose him because we feel like we need him so bad.
Yeah,
like,
if he hurts himself even more, he's going to hold that against us.
Have a whole offseason for that neck to naturally heal. You know what I mean? And to get his full recovery, rehab, neck exercises, and back support and different muscles that he would have to build for next season. Like real
hey,
talk.
What did Des Bryant say about that? Before we get out of here, tell us what Des Bryant said about playing when you hurt. What did he say about it?
He said it's best not to because you're gonna
still never do that. I never do that again.
You're gonna be graded as if you're healthy.
Yep. That means he's hurt and the fans are watching the TV and you're seeing Dez as he's not hurt. Why? Because he's playing. And he's thinking, bro, my foot is hurting. Yeah.
Like, because he came back off of surgery on his ankle after 6 weeks.
Unheard of, bro.
Yeah, and that's a bone that popped out of place that he came back from. So when he came back early in 2015 and didn't have that explosion, you know what our flaky fans did? They called it a regression. No, that's surgery. That's coming back not healed. That's not a regression. But we would say this when we was trying to fire him from 2018. Well, you know, he did have 3 years. Like, why would anybody ever count a year of a man coming back 6 weeks off of ankle surgery? Like, why would you even count that year against that man? So, like, to his point, if you LVE, you also have to consider that the league will sometimes, not the league, but the Cowboys will sometimes try to talk you into what's against your best interest. Just like they did with Fredericks for week 11. You okay? You think you're ready? You okay? You think you're ready? Okay? You think you're ready? This man had a disease that takes a whole year at minimum to get over. At minimum. And they were still, you ready? You think you're ready? You ready? You think you can try? You want to go out there and try? You ready? Same thing they go more than likely do to LVE. And that's the same thing that happened with the tackle with Trent Williams. Well, they had
Washington.
Yeah, same thing happened to Durant.
He said, F y'all, I ain't doing it.
Yeah, same thing happened to Durant with his Achilles. Oh, we think you can go. We think you can go. So, like, if you LVE, it's like sometimes the worst thing you can do is be like, I'm going to be the tough man.
Especially in my second season, I can't do it in my. I'm saying, especially in this is the perfect year for him to do it. I mean, if you're gonna get hurt, get it that second season. Why? Because in the third season, you go right into your bag year.
Yeah, and look at Connor Williams, came back too early,
and they out again.
They should have known he was literally a week out of surgery. Then I'm on the first team. I never felt better, bro. You're a week from being under the knife. You just came out of surgery. So guess what happened the very next game? ACL tear. That's bad management, right? Yeah. That's just bad management. Like, sometimes you got to protect these players from themselves. Oh, yeah, Connor Williams, I understand you don't want Xavier Fulo to go out there and get some good tape. But I'm sorry, you not 100%. You're going to need another at least 2 weeks, just like Michael Gallup did. When Michael Gallup hurt his knee, he had his surgery, and he still had to sit out for about another 2 more weeks. Connor Williams jumping out there the very week, talking about, I'm ready to start. I'm with the first team. Crack.
Done.
So when we talking about LVE, man, and we talking about what can actually happen with LVE in this neck, this thing better be managed right, because if you start getting too anxious, you'll mess this man's career up and you'll mess up your own asset.
Yep. Well, hey, Boss Cowboy, man, let them know they can find you at, man.
Boss Cowboy Sports, I didn't do any recap of the game. I'm not going to do it with the Bills. I'm going to just let that one make it. Y'all get a recap on Chicago for sure. I just use that time to, chill with the kids, chill with the family. It was Thanksgiving.
All right, man. And you already know what it is, man. It's your boy. It's your cousin Cowboy. It's your cousin West Coast, man. Appreciate you guys for rocking with us. Appreciate you guys for sharing the content. Had a great show tonight. Appreciate everybody over on Instagram. Appreciate everybody over there on YouTube. Let me see, K Hayes and Poker God, and that's over there. Everybody that's watching, man. We had a great show. We was actually on here for an hour and 46 minutes, man. You guys rocked for us this whole time, so we appreciate you guys. Well, hey, man, we about to get up out of here, but you guys already know what it is. Before we get up out of here, man, never look down because the stars up. Peace.